Feels a bit odd to be sat here talking happily about a defeat, but there was a few good things in that game tonight, and it certainly looked a lot brighter. Now, I'm not impressed with the goalkeeping. I thought the first goal was savable. Thought the second to last goal was savable. Made quite a few errors in those sort of defensive situations today, but we'll get into that in just a moment. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, turn on that notification bell, and like this video to help push it to brand new audiences. We're currently going through the best month the channel has ever seen, and I really appreciate all the support. But shall we get back into the video talking about the game? Well, as you can see, Derby County have lost 4-3 to Barnsley in their final away pre-season friendly of this upcoming campaign. Obviously, there's just one more left against Real Valladolid on Saturday. That's going to be a very interesting one because realistically, we need to see a much better defensive display. I mentioned it right at the start of this video. We've made some very un-Derby County-like defensive errors tonight, and certainly in the goalkeeper department it hasn't been great tonight. I think it was either the third goal or the fourth goal. Vickers should have done so much better. The first one might have taken a little bit of a nick from Conor Hourihane, who struck the ball. I think it might have took a little nick off Cashin, but Josh Vickers has got to do much better from there for me. I am actually quite impressed with parts of the performance tonight, and that might sound a bit silly because obviously we did come away with a loss, but Mendez-Laing scored twice, Collins scored. We got into some really good breakaway opportunities, which I believe we're going to get into so many of them this upcoming season. Dejon Brown came off the bench and looked bright. Corey Blackett-Taylor is the only sort of negative that we have from this. He came off injured back. Probably wasn't even 10 minutes after it came on. Unsure what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out over the coming days. It is going to be interesting to see how obviously this team develops over the course of the final few weeks of the transfer window. I think we're absolutely dying for another number 9. I think we're dying for another couple of attacking creative players to put in midfield. I thought Kenzo did really well in that first half, looked really bright, but obviously we can't do what we did last year and just rely on individual brilliance at times, because obviously there was periods last year where it was purely on Nathaniel Mendez-Laing to make things happen. Then we went through a period where it was Barkhazen, and obviously there's a lot more to come from this squad. It's only going to get better, in my opinion, as they get fitter and stronger as we get into the season and the actual real games start coming, because once you hit that sort of competitive edge and you hit that flow state in the games, it's changes the picture quite drastically. And obviously tonight I felt like Cashin wasn't quite on it, but I know that when we play Blackburn next week, I know that it'll be a completely different player. I know that it won't be the Cashin we saw tonight. It'll be on a completely different level, and obviously that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I think will happen. We've been through pre-seasons like this before where we don't really look on it, and then all of a sudden it just clicks into gear. Now we're in sort of a transition period really, as we've gone up to the Championship. The midfield is brand new apart from Liam Thompson, because there was no Tyrese Forner again tonight. So apart from Liam Thompson, he's the only player that's been here a long time. Ibu Adams joined in January and obviously rejoined. Kenzo's new, Ben Osborne's new, David Ozoh's new. And to be honest with you, I thought Ozoh was really, really bright. I thought Adams looked okay, but they'll build into it, and it's all about connections and partnerships, and that's something that I think we've done wrong so far this pre-season, is we haven't built connections and partnerships. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League One videos that are going to be coming your way over the course of this upcoming season. We're going to start off next week. We've obviously got the League One previews and predictions coming at the end of this week. We've got Championship previews and predictions already on the channel, so make sure you go and check that out. And we're going to have game week reviews and game week previews coming your way next week, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button to see when that arrives, because Paul Warren's been so focused on getting minutes in certain players' legs and things like that, and I'm all for players need to get their fitness in 100%. First 2 games should be 45-45, 60, 60-30, and the third one should be 60-30. Now, game 4 should have been what our starting 11 should be, shape, all of that. This game, game 4 should have been that. This is game 5. That should have been the same as game 4. And game 6 should be your starting 11. They play until they drop, because that's what they're going to have to do in a week's time when we come up against Blackburn Rovers to start the Championship campaign. And right now, I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're going to be able to judge this squad 10 games into the season, because I think it's going to have to be probably 15 games in, 10 games from when the deadline closes. Because for me, we're missing a lot of talent, especially in midfield. I think we're dying out for another centre-back as well. Obviously, Curtis Nelson didn't play tonight. I believe it was illness. But we've just been very sloppy defensively. We created some really good chances attacking-wise. I can see that Caden Jackson is going to be a very frustrating player for a lot of people, because he gets into some really nice areas and he's just too selfless. And yes, that can be very good for a winger to be selfless and not want to take all the glory, but he had an opportunity, I think it was late on in the first half, where it was practically through on goal. If he'd have took a shot, he probably would have scored, but he tried to cut it back to Jerry Yates, missed everybody, they went up the other end. But it's one of those for me where we really need to start piecing things together, and I personally think we're probably going to end up, we won't play a back 4 like we played tonight, because we played a 4-2-3-1 sort of shape with Ibu and Ozoh sitting, with Kenzo in the 10, Mendez-Laing one side, Jackson the other, Yates through the middle, and they sort of rotated. Now, I'm fairly sure that Yates is suspended for the first 3 games of the season, which sort of makes tonight a bit meaningless for that opening day, because it's going to be James Collins that starts, really. If you look into it, it is going to be it's going to have to be James Collins, unless we bring in another a number 9 before then. But then Paul Warren's not going to be happy, because they're going to be 4 weeks behind our squad. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, we're still missing like a heck of a lot of talent. I do think we're going to struggle this season, judging by what we've seen so far. Now, it could quite easily surprise me what happens over the start of the season, and I want nothing more than to be surprised by this squad. But right now, I just think we're lacking so much creativity, so much at the back. I just don't think we're the same defensive side we were last year, the same defensive unit, and realistically, that defensive unit had to get better. And right now, I don't think it has. Obviously, realistically, when we start, if we was to start tomorrow, the back 5 would probably be the same as it was back end of last season, apart from Louis Sibley, because obviously Sibley's moved on to Oxford United, but we're still missing some big players to come into this squad. So it is going to be interesting to see how it develops over the course of the end of the transfer window. I don't think we're going to go into Blackburn with the right pieces to the jigsaw, let's say. I think them jigsaw pieces are going to fall into place at the back end of the transfer window. I think I remember early on in the window there was talk of a loan deal that had been agreed, but the player couldn't join up with us until the end of the window. Whether that is still happening, was that David Ozoh, who knows? But there's obviously a lot of work to do with this squad. You can obviously let me know what you thought about tonight's friendly down in the comments. Obviously, I think the big talking point and the big problem that people are going to have is the defensive solidity, because we just wasn't very good at all in those defensive areas. Now, obviously, attacking wise, I thought we were good at points. Not anything special, but I thought we was okay in those counter areas. But that's about all we've really done tonight. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and hit the like button. And I'll catch you in my next video tomorrow, which will be a League One preview. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.